Hey, bro. So imagine you're going to a party and you're sitting there in the back. You know how it goes. You don't really know anybody there, and you're looking over and you see this really, beautiful girl, and you really would like to speak to her, but inside you just can't seem to get the courage to actually go up and speak to that girl. And who knows? Maybe she would have been the one. Maybe she would have said yes. But you'll never know because you weren't confident enough to actually speak to her. You couldn't even say hello. And then you see these other guys, these guys who are like the jocks, they're playing sport, they're the big buff guys, they're super confident, and they just go up and they speak to this girl. And so you feel really bad inside that, maybe maybe you had a shot, maybe you could have spoken to her, maybe you could have gotten her number, but you were too afraid. And by not taking action, these other guys they were able to go and take your shot, take the shot with this girl. And you can apply this to the club, to any social situation, right? Where you might be too uncomfortable or not confident enough to actually go and speak to the girl. But then you realize that you have to build your confidence, and you're not sure why. Why are you not confident enough? You know, the system, and they always tell us that we need to compare ourselves to others. We need to get validation, right? Always grading us, for example, in school. I mean, if you don't get like 80 plus, then they tell you that you're dumb, right? But maybe that just wasn't your style of learning, right? So we've been conditioned to really have this competitive, let's say toxic competitiveness, right? Because there is good competition too, right? But we've been kind of conditioned in this negative way to always have negative self-talk, right? So I know for sure that for myself, I was actually that person that was never able to, I didn't have that courage inside me to actually go and speak to these people, not just girls, but just in general. I was scared inside. I was afraid of them judging me, right? I couldn't go up and speak to this person because I was afraid of their reaction. I was afraid of them. I don't know. I mean, if you really think about it, like, what's the worst that can happen, right? But there's this built-in fear of, don't talk to strangers. I mean, how many times have your parents told you to not speak to a stranger, right? And so, from a young age, we are conditioned to not speak to strangers. And yes, there is a sense of maybe safety for a young child not to speak to a stranger, but it shouldn't be that clear cut, right? You should be able to teach your children to not speak with dangerous people, but you should not condition them to not speak to a stranger, because in life, almost everybody is a stranger until you get to know them, right? And so we have developed this real negative self talk that we tell ourselves that we're not good enough. We tell ourselves that there's nothing we can offer of benefit. We tell ourselves that these people don't like us, and they haven't even met us yet. They haven't even had the chance to judge us, right? Because we've been afraid to even speak to them. And so negative self talk is really something that brings us down as men, and we need to fight against that. If you feel uncomfortable speaking to a person, go and speak to that person. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to actually speak and to go out there and to communicate. Now, for me, I kind of learned the hard way, you could say, and I still struggle myself. I had a job where I actually had to go door to door salesman, and that sleazy salesman knocking on people's doors. So I actually did that job, and it was out of a necessity. It was the only job I got at the time, and I was terrible. I was afraid. But through the necessity of going, door to door to door, eventually you realize that people are just the same as you. People are just people. And, you know, they actually don't have an opinion of you. They don't really care. If you say hello and, you know, they flip you off or they tell you to go away, you just go to the next door, right? And so you can use this concept, I mean, using talking about girls, for example, if she says no, just ask another girl, right? There are many, many opportunities. And so, having gone through that experience myself, you know, literally knocking door to door for almost a year, I built up that kind of confidence, right? But put me in a social setting, and again, I just, you know, I close up and I don't want to express myself. I don't want to um, necessarily speak to these strangers. Even as an adult, I mean, I'm 28 years old, and it's still something that I struggle with, right? Because we've been conditioned so hard to not seek out this kind of interactions. And so, something else that really brings us down and really contributes towards this is the way that we compare ourselves to others, right? And yes, there should be some form of competition. And you cannot have competition without comparing yourself to another person, of course. But with the advent of social media and you seeing these top 1% men, I mean, by all means, try and strive for that, right? If you want to become that, go for it. But know that they are the 1% for a reason. They're 1%, meaning that 99% of us are not going to get to that level, right? So you have to understand that there are various levels of success. Now, I would definitely say that you should not be comparing yourself to people who don't even have what you want, right? So you have these influences that are um, showing off their lifestyle, right? Is that lifestyle what you want? So you need to be careful in comparing yourself, right? And also, you have to see how old are they? What did they go through? What is their life story? So many things actually contribute to their position in life. And so, every each one of us has a unique position in life, right? None of us are the same. So, you cannot compare your success to someone else's success. Maybe you didn't work as hard as them. I mean, maybe you simply just don't have the same genetics as them because you like 100% don't have the same genetics as them. So somebody might be able to put on a good muscle, good physique without a lot of effort. And someone else really has to put in a lot of effort. But you don't know where they were before they looked like that, right? So it's really up to us to see the image of people who we want to imitate, right? We want to strive towards that success. Yes, we should. But we shouldn't let their success actually make us feel bad about ourselves, right? We shouldn't let their success um, drive down our own self worth, right? And I mean, if you're fat, go to the gym, lose weight. If you're poor, go make money. Like, there are options for us to level up and to improve ourselves. But by comparing ourselves to these 1% men, it's good to have that drive and ambition to reach that level. But don't let that bring you down and make you think that no, you can never achieve that. And so, also with this theme, and also actually with social media that really influenced and hyped all of this up, is seeking validation from others, right? Of course, the famous, you know, Facebook like is kind of the start of this whole situation, right? We we kind of see our self worth as the amount of likes we get on a post or the amount of followers we have. But at the end of the day, those things don't matter, right? So we need to stop seeking validation from others. The only person who you should really be comparing yourself to is yourself. Are you doing more today than you did yesterday? Are you working harder than last time? Are you putting in more effort? You know, last week you were able to do 10 sets of 5 or 5 sets of 10. Can you do 5 sets of 11? Can you increase your weight by 2 kilograms, 5 kilograms, 1, 2, 3 plates, right? How much can you improve every single day? Can you meditate an extra 30 seconds today? Can you run an extra mile? So you should really, I definitely advocate for trying to track your stats, right? So if you have a specific goal in mind, like I do, I mean, I'm trying to cut down to like around 80 kilograms. Right now I'm on 96. So I'm getting there. So I'm trying to cut down to that to get into a healthy, body fat percentage. And so I need to track my stats. I need to see this week, what did I eat? Am I eating healthier than last time? Am I eating unhealthy? I check my gym. Am I doing enough weight? Am I increasing my weight? Progressive overload, right? So you have to compare yourself to your old self. So are you improving yourself every single day? And so the only validation you need is your self validation, right? You're getting validated by yourself every time you're able to improve and succeed over your previous self. And I think that this is actually the best form of, validation. And of course, as you go through this process, people will notice, people will see and tell you, oh, you look like you lost some weight. You look like, you're making more money. You're living a more lavish lifestyle. And so over time, you will get these people telling you how good you did. But you'll also get people telling you that, no, it was just overnight success. Oh, you were always in great shape. You have great genetics. For most of us, that's just not the case. We have average genetics. That's why it's called average, because majority of us have this situation or this position in life. I would say that I have severely average genetics. I gain weight really easily. And for the past, let's say 18 years, I have just been, consuming calories without even putting a thought to it. So we need to really consider the influence we've had over our lives and try to break these chains, right? Break the chains and try to improve every single day. So if you found that you had received any value from this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.